Hello and welcome to the awesome TV show with Nikhil Taneja. This is that episode of the show where I suggest not only my recommendations but also yours because I love all of you, including Lakshay Takkar, who last month wrote a comment saying, "Get a life bro, just sitting and watching TV won't do you any good." Thanks for the tip bro, I will now stand and watch TV just for you. Now before you check out this list of recommendations, please check out my list of the best shows of this year so far on Netflix, Amazon and Hotstar here. Here's what was streaming in July. On Netflix. Yes, of course, Sacred Games released on Netflix and all of you already know of it. I haven't spoken about it for two reasons. My conflict of interest because I make Hindi web shows too, although nothing I've done matches the awesomeness of Kartikar Arun. And also Film Companion's conflict of interest because the author of Sacred Games is the brother of Anupama Chopra, Vikram Chandra. But just because you guys have asked so much, I'd just like to say that I really loved Sacred Games because it pulled no punches in talking about the chaos and complexity of Mumbai. India, our people and our gods. Nothing is black and white and there are no heroes and villains in Sacred Games. There are actions, there are reactions and there are stories born out of this mayhem. But mostly Kartikar rules and I want to see a prequel only on him. P.S. I do hope they do better by the women in season 2 though. They seem to exist only to die because of the men. There's also comedians in cars getting coffee and I've watched some episodes and love the one with Hasan Minhaj a lot. It's probably because it's the one with Hasan Minhaj in it. Orange is the New Black season 6 is also out, but I stopped watching the show after season 3 because I found it repetitive. If you think otherwise, let me know in the comments. I did find out that Fargo season 3 had been added to Netflix and oh my god, it is so good. I discussed it last year too and you really must watch it. I legit believe Fargo is the worthy successor of Breaking Bad when it comes to a show where every scene is perfect. On Amazon, Marvel's Cloak and Dagger is streaming every week. And I've really liked how it's unraveled more thoughtfully than most other Marvel shows. But I'm not sure I like it because it's a great show or because it's a good Marvel show. I can say one thing for sure, it's definitely better than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Amazon has also just added Trial and Error, which is a hilarious mockumentary anthology on true crime documentaries like The Jinx. And in season 2, it is pretty much a satire of exactly The Jinx. Much fun. There's also Goliath season 2 that's out, but I didn't care much for season 1, even though it absurdly won an Emmy. So I'm not sure if I'm going to watch season 2 unless you all tell me to. On Hotstar, Succession has become one of my favorite guilty pleasures to watch every week now. It's like a business gossip show centered on a billion-dollar dysfunctional family, much like the Murdochs. And there's so much happening every week that I totally love it. Sacha Baron Cohen's non-fiction comedy Who is America was also out in July and I majorly disliked it because I found it to be mean, childish, prank show that exists for no other reason than to fuck with people. Some of the politicians it screws with is fine, but when it goes after regular folks, it really is not. In fact, it is quite alienating. But the big buzzy show to talk about has undoubtedly been Sharp Objects starring Amy Adams and oh yes, it delivers. It's an atmospheric crime drama that reminds me of The Affair in tone, but has brilliant and consistent writing about dark mysteries in small towns. And now it's time for your reviews. On Netflix, a lot of you have recommended older shows on Netflix given that not too many new shows were streaming in July, outside of Sacred Games, and yes, so many of you have spoken about it in the comments with basically the same comment. Why aren't you talking about it? Lo, I spoke about it above only for you all. अब खुश हो जाओ please. Abhas Bhardwaj recommended The Staircase, calling it brilliant and an awesome true crime documentary. Gaurav Bamb recommends Glow season 2, calling it awesome. Divya Ranjan loved End of the Fucking World and called it absolutely amazing. Vasu Gupta liked Santa Clarita Diet, calling it a dark comedy done right. While Easy Peasy has kept Dark at the top of his or her list, calling it brilliant. Wow, I love how passionate you all are about television. I agree with most of your assessments, but don't know about Santa Clarita Diet season 2 as I couldn't watch after season 1. The comment I agreed with most is by Ravi Tolani, who is only now watching BoJack Horseman and said it's really funny and he loved the writing and animation. You know what I love about BoJack Horseman? Everything. It's one of the greatest things ever made on planet Earth, so every one of you who still hasn't watched it, watch it. Nishant Kumar Goyal recommends You, Me, Her, calling it guilty fun and totally enjoyable. Amrapali Zaveri is quite hooked onto Marcella, while Shweta Chopra has asked me to see The Ranch because it's a great show. I'm not too sure about that, Shweta, but I'm glad you like it. Jay Salia also spoke words of truth when he said, I got hooked onto Brooklyn Nine-Nine just by watching the first scene of the first episode. It's a much better comedy show than Two Broke Girls whose writing deteriorated season after season. He's not told us from which season that began, but I assume it's every one of them. On Amazon, a couple of people have highly recommended Dietland, so I guess I'll have to watch it now. Gitanjali Nair called it quite interesting, but Sudeepta Pradhan says it's brilliant. The dark, almost sinister humor it has and the way it shows such pertinent issues that women face is so spot on. Nivan Bakshi saw the looming tower recently and has said, God, I love it. So he clearly means it. Sagar Changwani didn't like Cloak and Dagger though and called it too slow. On Hotstar, I couldn't see much of Pose, but Sahil Chaudhary says, give time to Pose, it will grow. It has its poor banal filmmaking moments, just a few, but it is an unexplored world with real emotion, and as I said, it will grow on you. Alright Sahil, I'm gonna try and go back for it just for you and for Ria750024 who says, Pose is amazing, it's my favorite show ATM. By which she means at the moment and not automated tailor machine. Nakul finds sharp objects fantastic with true detective vibes, while Snehashish Mishra says that although its pacing is slow and confusing, the dark and non-linear stylized story structure with finest screenplay from author and telewriters proves that patient storytelling is worth the investment. Also, the performance from the lead brilliantly shows how manipulation can lead to self-destruction. Wow Snehashish, I love how you put it. Please write more and comment here. Jay Salia was fascinated that Westworld Season 2 made a very evil turn and became dark, though Jonathan Nolan's writing and direction always keeps you hooked. He's a Nolan after all. Jay Salia ended with a wink. On YouTube, finally, there's also a recommendation for a YouTube original. Omkar Sarang has recommended Impulse, saying it's a great show guys, please watch. Girls, I'm sure he wants you all to watch it too. That's all for this week folks. August is going to be super interesting because there's Disenchantment by the creator of The Simpsons, Ozark Season 2, although I'm not too sure about that, Jack Ryan Season 1, the controversial Insatiable, and Better Call Saul, Ballers and Insecure. If you are happy that I finally spoke of Sacred Games on this show, please like, share and subscribe to the Film Companion channel and do not forget to put your comments below. I'm going to read them out next month. And if you think my favorite TV shows in general are also your favorite TV shows in general, then tell me all of that on social media at Taneja मैं हूँ, क्योंकि Taneja मैं हूँ, मार्क इधर है.